Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Tuesday, April 11th, 2017. It was really hard for me not to make an eighth video yesterday. I put out 7 videos. I recommend you watch all of them, especially the one about the pancake eating contest that resulted in the death of the daughter of a 9/11 hero. This mainstream media we have, it's a real piece of work. And yesterday I put out 7 videos exposing purposeful propaganda in the media, including the pancake eating contest story. The 8th video I was about to do, I just left it for a blog post. If you follow my blog, I put this up last night. But everyone needs to know about how Bill Cosby is being used as this ornament in the media to attract negative, racially based attention. That's what this whole Bill Cosby sex scandal accusations thing is about. It's all about race and hate and division and stereotypes and fueling existing programming that's been in the media for decades, longer than I've been around. You know, the stereotype's been put out there by this same media that black men are dangerous, aggressive, overly sexualized. All things that have been written about black males in papers, magazines. I bet you go back to the earliest days of TV. It's probably said right in the news. So anyhow, our media, it is not here to inform us. It's here to provoke us. It's here to scare us. It's here to divide us. It's all about control. And the purpose of the media is to, constantly attack the minds of the masses. Keep them in this state. Anxiety, fear, ready to act out at their neighbor, That's how the people who control the media want us. They look at us like a big ant farm, and they're just steering us. They're just maintaining the population. And this is their favorite trick, propaganda that gets us all, you know what it does. Anyway, yesterday, April 10th, 2017, the headlines, Bill Cosby's Little Bill, books targeted for censorship, library group says. I'm going to show you why this article came on the very specific date of April 10th. Has everything to do with Bill Cosby's upcoming 80th birthday. We're going to begin with that emphasis, Little Bill. Why are those words emphasized? Is it just to let you know about the books that are going to be censored, or is it something else? And in truth, it's something else. If you pay attention to the words that are emphasized in mainstream media headlines, those words always have gematria behind them, the ancient practice of coding numbers into words. And let me show you what Little Bill reveals. Little Bill, 113. In the Talmud, there's something called Bava Kama 113a that says it's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who isn't Jewish, to somebody who's a Gentile. It's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who is a Gentile or not Jewish. Bava Kama 113a. Little Bill, 113. Mainstream, 113. Dishonest, 113. Perjury, 113. Fiction, 113. Bullshit, 113. You never seen the film Network about where news was going, a film that came out in 1976? It was a film about how bullshit is truly running the world. And it is. All of us who are awake know that. We are lied to every day. It is lies, it is bullshit that steers the course of humanity. Scottish equals 113. Scottish Rite Freemasonry is largely what's responsible for this. Freemasonry, Judaism, major overlaps. Freemason history is in the Old Testament, the Jewish portion of the Bible. The teachings that Freemasons learn in the secret society, they come from Jewish heritage, the Old Testament, other Jewish texts. So there's this major overlap between Judaism and Freemasonry. And They essentially say Freemasonry is Judaism for the Gentiles. Anyway, it's Freemasons, Zionist Jews in high places that control your media, that control this whole show. That's why the media is always reminding you you can't say anything against Jewish people. You know, they'll program you to hate every other group, race, religion, no matter where they're from, but you can't say anything about the Jews. That's the way the media always is. You know, I've documented that so many times, these headlines, you know, media company getting ready to crack down on racism, and then you open up the article and it's all about how protecting Jews from anti-Semitism. It's like, has anybody been online? All I see in terms of racism online is everybody thinking it's okay to use the word nigger. You know, everybody writes nigger online because they're hiding behind their computer. I don't see too many cracks at Jews. But you read these articles, you'd think, man, only the Jews are getting attacked. That's how it's presented in the media, right? Non-stop movies about the Holocaust. It's like, what about all the other genocides in the world? What about the genocides of the native people when we took over this country? Where's that movie at? You know? We got Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis. A movie celebrating white people, you know, when it's, you know, Europeans who came over here and made a genocide of the natives. Just think about how sick it is. But anyway, Freemasonry, Judaism, major overlap, gematria, mostly a Jewish practice, important at the higher ranks of Freemasonry, the people running the show. But just in terms of 113 and mainstream and dishonest and bullshit, you know, professional sports, news headlines, full of 113 coding. Look at this from a year ago. Kobe Bryant's Dear Basketball poem to be turned into animated short. This was his poem about his retirement, why he was retiring last year. Kobe Bryant, 113. Dear Basketball, 113. Kobe Bryant's entire NBA career scripted, just like Michael Jordan, 113. Just like so many athletes. We live in a world of deception. What's coming through the TV, sports, news. It's all their show. That's the Freemason Zionist show coming through that electronic box, programming the minds of the masses. But anyway, just notice how they emphasize Dear Basketball. You have no idea how often this is done unless you know this code. This is done, I mean, if you follow my channel, I show how it's done every single day. Every day. So then the CNN article, they give us this little clip from Little Bill. Just like Dad. You know, we got a father-son moment. This is the book they're going to censor. Just like Dad. Well, check out the number here. Just like Dad, 181. If you're a sports fan, you saw this number this week in basketball. You know, Russell Westbrook beat Oscar Robertson's triple-double record for a season. Oscar Robertson, the all-time record holder with 181 triple-doubles. If you watch my work on the NBA Finals last year, I was talking about LeBron James in this number 181, which we'll get to. 181 is the 42nd prime number. Russell Westbrook just set the record with 42 triple-doubles in a season, beating Oscar Robertson, who has the record of 181. 42 is a number that has been stamped on black people in this secret language of gematria so many different ways. A lot of people will associate 42 with black people because of Jackie Robinson, the first black baseball player in white major league. If you saw my work from December 30th, 2015, when Bill Cosby was charged and they had the headlines of him in handcuffs, December 30th, 12 plus 30, 42. I have a video from then talking about how they were stamping 42 on this story about Bill Cosby. But check this out. I know a lot more now than December 30th, 2015. So this is just the latest. Bill Cosby's name in The Cosby Show is Huxtable. Huxtable, 42. 42, stamped on black people. Slavery, 42. You know, with regards to 42 and black people, I want you to know that when Barack Obama first became president, February 11th, which is the 42nd day of the year, the date was February 11th, 2009. February 11th, 2009. Derek at his calculator has built some tools, and I just want to show this to you guys, if I know how to do it right. he's made it easy to do the math. I normally do everything in my head, but he's built these tools, and I'm not sure about all of his numerology connections, but February 11th, 2009, this is a proper way to take the date numerology, and 42 would also break down to 6. But anyhow, February 11th, 2009 was the 42nd day of the year. It was a date with 42 numerology. This number stamped on black people, and they had Obama, the first black president, reopen Ford's Theater where Lincoln was assassinated. And I'll teach you something more about Lincoln and the start of the Civil War in terms of slavery. But real quick, I just want to show you one more thing about 42 and President Obama being the first black president. When you write out 42, it sums to 142. When you write out the name President Obama, it also sums to 142. First black president, having him do that ritual with Ford's Theater, which goes back to Lincoln, which goes back to the Civil War, which goes back to the freeing of the slaves, slavery 102. And 42. The Civil War began on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year, So anyway, just giving you a little knowledge to understand that this number code is real. It's based in our language. It's based in our history. And it is ongoing and repeating. And we are essentially given programming every single day to fuel these old divisive narratives. All of these stories and all of this history focuses on race and difference. So anyhow, slavery 42. February is Black History Month, the only month with 42 gematria. It also ends on the 59th day of the year, February 28th, 31 days in January plus 28 in February, 59. Just real quick, when you write out 5, it sums to 42, and when you write out 9, it sums to 42. No other numbers do that are single digits, 5 and 9. And the word Negro is 59, the word slave 59, the word blues 59. The Civil War ended on May 9th, 5/9. Motown Records came out in 59. Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. The slang term brothers, 42, to refer to a group of black people, the brothers, 42. Here's something I want to show you about this word. Not only does nigger sum to 42, but I want to come back here to slavery. I want you to see 42 and 102. The Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. Look at this. Do you see the overlap? 102 and 42. By the way, don't overlook the 60 either. Kobe Bryant, known as the Black Mamba, scored 60 in his final game, 213 days after the death of Moses Malone at age 60. Moses Malone, high school professional basketball player connected to Philly, just like Kobe. 213 days after the death of Moses Malone at 60, Kobe finishes his career with 60. Look at these numbers. So significant. But the point is, all throughout history, these numbers have been used again and again to conduct rituals that keep us separated. With regards to Kobe Kobe scoring 60, 213 days after the death of Moses Malone, check this out. Black History Month equals 213. The Los Angeles area code's also 213. Kobe scored 60, 213 days after the death of Moses Malone. If you write out Black Panther, it also has the gematria of 213. 213. So many young black men have died by this number, even people not related to the Black Panthers, or at least not knowingly. Len Bias, 213 days after his birthday. Reggie Lewis collapsed in the game with 213 points, and we know how they script these games to the point. Plus so many other things that I've covered. Tupac Shakur released his final studio album on February 13th, and then died 213 days later on September 13th. He died 213 days later. That date he died, September 13th, is written 13/9 in most parts of the world. Tupac Shakur, 139. Same with Freemasonry. And his mother was a Black Panther. You know, he died 213 days after his 213 album release. On September 13th, corresponding with his name and Freemasonry, that's also the same day Moses Malone died. And then 213 days later, Kobe scored 60. You see what I'm saying? And don't forget, Daryl Dawkins died right next to Moses Malone, the former teammates who'd won the NBA Finals 33 years earlier. Show you something. NBA Finals 33. Kobe 33. You know? It's all rituals. It's all sickness. It's all by the numbers. There's a reason they call this language spelling. You know? Like casting a spell. This is old world knowledge gematria. You know, it's associated with magic. Is there a magical element to this? You know? I can't say for certain. But there does seem to be some greater power to these numbers and the reason they get used so ritualistically. So anyhow, 42. You know, I should mention one more thing. December 30th, the day that they charged Cosby in 2015, December 30th. That's also LeBron James's birthday, as well as Tiger Woods' birthday. December 30th. I just want you to see that Tiger's 59. Tiger Woods. Good symmetry in numbers. Those are some special numbers. It's another topic. But anyway, Tiger has that 59. He had his career worst performance on the date with, or it was May 9th. If you remember that day that happened, I put out a video about Tiger's worst career performance on May 9th. I said how this was all part of the racial stereotyping. You know, narratives are being created right now in the present about Tiger's collapse from golf. And you hear what racists say. I mean, all of us live in this society. You guys are hearing the same things I'm saying. There's people out there saying things like, well, that's just proof that, you know, golf's a mental game, and it just goes to show Tiger doesn't have the mental toughness to make it in golf. See, it comes back to racism and taking a shot at, like, black intelligence, which is all bullshit. And all the people who say these types of things, it's because they've gotten all these years of programming from the media. And the media continues to do it in a number of ways. Stories like making Tiger collapse after the bogus sex scandal story. For those of you who don't know, that whole story is manufactured. These athletes that represent these companies, people like Tiger Woods, they're not human beings like us. They are puppets on strings, you know, commercials, television, performing. They're puppets on strings. They don't even get to choose who they marry. This stuff's all arranged. You guys got to check out my work to see all that I'm exposing. But it is all ritual that's going on in this world. On this same day that Tiger had this horrible performance, in Liberia, they declared Liberia Ebola-free because it had been 42 straight days without a new case. And go back and watch my videos. The blog posts are still there. The videos are still there. You know what? Just to make the point, watch this. This is how easy my blog is to use. If you type Liberia 4259, I'm sure it's going to pop right up. Well, this is about AIDS being discovered in 59 in the Belgian Congo. Even if the wrong things come up, you know, you'll still, I just learned something else new. There's so much information on here. Here's Tiger Woods, his worst round of golf. But hold on, that's not what I want. Where's my Liberia? Here we go. Liberia is free from Ebola. Let me zoom this in. Can you make that out? Liberia is now free of Ebola after going 42 days, twice the maximum incubation period. And this was from May 9th, you know, May 9th, 5/9. You know what? Just right here, I'm going to document this too, because this is going to come back to what we're talking about with Cosby. We're getting all kinds of tangential with this video, but I just want people to understand, because so many people come to my videos and they say, I don't get it, this doesn't make sense, I don't think anybody would do this. Look, it doesn't matter what you think or what you're mistaken about right now, people are doing this. I'm not here debating whether this is going on, I'm showing you how it's being done every single day. You know, I'm amazed by how many people come and just confidently dismiss my work after watching part of one video in light of the fact that I've been documenting this kind of stuff for going on 4 years. Every single day. You know? Let me know if you've ever seen anybody work for 4 years straight before, for free. My motivation is to end the tyranny. That's all. You know? And also have some fun with my haters. You know, somebody recently put out a video and said I'm a Freemason because the side of my house, it has green guard insulation. So anyway, it's now part of the backdrop. But look at this. Look at this story right here. This story is called 93 Days. 93 Days. It's about the Ebola thing. 93 is another number coded all over Black History. Black History Month in the Kabbalah Cipher is 93. If you've seen my work on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., we'll revisit a little bit of that. But anyway, let's get back on topic. We're talking about the 42s on black people. The word for nigger in South Africa is kafir, which is also 42. Also 33, race war 33, 33, 42, numbers used again and again in dividing us. 33, a number of Freemasonry. Freemason believes in divide and conquer, order out of chaos. Think about the word boy. Boy used in a derogatory way towards black people. Remember this story about a dead boy that the Ferguson police, left in the middle of the street? Remember that? Michael Brown, Ferguson, Missouri. They just left a dead black boy there and he was a boy, right? He was younger than an adult. They just left him there dead in the street for hours to make a big national news story so that they could, stir up some hate and have a manufactured riot on TV. Just real quick, we got to do one more in case you've never seen one of my videos and you're still watching. We got to look at the officer who shot Michael Brown in the first image they put out of him. I have a video from 2014 when this happened, and I told people the day of what this was all about. For this long, I've been explaining this to people. Darren Wilson, they put out this first image of him, and he has a 42 on his shirt. And blues. I just showed you how blues equals 59, like Negro, like slave. Remember when you write out 5, 42, when you write out 9, 42? They give you this blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy with the blues, the 42. He just shot Michael Brown. And do you guys remember earlier this year, on the 72nd day of the year, Michael Brown was back in the headlines? Supposedly a movie was made about him, and then the movie had to be pulled off because the guy manipulated the film or something. All this propaganda, contrived by the numbers. That Michael Brown story was from the 72nd day of the year, plus a whole lot more. I got a video on it. I got videos on everything, because I'm trying to get the word out, but the word's not getting out. So anyway, boy 42, think about black history on the bus. You guys want to see what day Rosa Parks died? Rosa Parks, what day did you die, Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks died October 24th, 2005. Now do this numerology with me. 10 plus 24 is 34. Plus 20 more is 54. Plus 5 more is 59. You add 10 plus 24 and then you break the year into two parts. 20, 05. 10 plus 24, 34. Plus 20, 54. Plus 05, 59. Number stamped on black people. Look at what day Rosa was born. February 4th. February, Black History Month. A date that's written 4/2 in most parts of the world. You know what? I got to do one more. Let's do Rodney King, beaten on March 3rd by the LAPD. Rodney King, born April 2nd. As we write it in the U.S., 4/2. Dead on the date that became the Charleston church shooting. Race war divisive propaganda, we'll touch on it. But just check out the name Rodney King, born on 4/2. Rodney King. 59. 59. Who beat him on 3/3? The LAPD, the police, 33. They were looking like a bunch of white sheets that day. KKK. K's the 11th letter. KKK, 33. Race war, 33. War games. It's always some kind of war. A race war, a drug war, a terrorist war. You know, they always got to just give us these gimmicks. It's all about maintaining us, stealing our tax money, saying they're using it to keep us safe. This is the game. You know, they treat us like we're children who can't evolve, who can't figure out the tricks of our masters. So back to 42. Have you seen the hit TV show Martin? You know what his apartment number is? It's 42. Martin equals 42. You ever heard of Martin Luther King Jr.? How about Malcolm X? I'm going to tell you something about Martin and Malcolm X in 93 here. You know, LeBron James, we were just talking about Russell Westbrook and his 42 achievement. LeBron James born on December 30th. I'm almost 100% certain LeBron James' father is Nate Thurmond. You know, ritualistic birthing, breeding athletes, breeding politicians, breeding entertainers, breeding a race of people to rule over us. It's been going on. It's going on. A lot of you don't understand how the secrets are kept in. It's because this is a fraternity, a secret society that is across the globe, that works together, that's well established, that has reasons to maintain, that already has a stranglehold on us. To not understand what's going on in the world is to not be able to think. You know, people have the simplest questions. So many people say, well, I can't follow your work because if it were true, the secret would get out. But what is that assumption based on? What is that belief based in? Do you know who controls your media? People who are there to gatekeep and make sure information doesn't get out. Because the only information that's worth anything to the public is what comes through the TV, which is just so stupid. Talk about illogical people. The TV, anything can be edited, tailored, retaped, made perfect. Why do people trust the TV so much? Because people can't think. TV's a weapon. You know what TV equals, by the way? It's the Freemasons who believe in divide and conquer, right? TV 42, like Freemason. These people have stamped their number on all the things they've done. That's why they stamped it all over black people. Look at what we've done to them. The people we call Jewish, I'll tell you what, if you read the Bible, the people who are supposed to be the Jews, they sound black. In the end of the Bible, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. Speaking of the Bible in 42, the first printed Bibles were called 42-line Bibles. If you read the New Testament, you'll feel foolish. You have to read 42 names you can't pronounce. The 42 generations to Jesus. New Testament also equals 42. In Revelation, the false Jews will rule in the end times. The beast will rule for 42 months. Zionism, 42. Zionism's the false Jews. It's their movement. Isn't there a basketball player coming up called Zion? The symbolism is thick. The breeding is worse. Here's the Freemason compass. Please know that it's set at 47 degrees. We're going to talk about Jackie Robinson, number 42, called up in 47. Freemason compass. Freemason 42. History 42. Knowledge 42. Big G 42 and 2 ciphers. Since we're teaching so much, why not just bust out the Satanic Gematria cipher? There's something you need to know here. This cipher, I want to show you what this cipher is all about. Oh, Derek, all right, here we go. Uh-oh. Got to make that bigger. In Satanic Gematria, instead of A being 1 and Z being 26, the normal stretch 1 to 26, you make A 36 and Z 61. If you sum every number 1 through 36 together, it totals 666. 666, 36 does. And look at what Satanic Gematria equals, what this cipher is called. Satanic Gematria 666. 666 taught about in Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the 66th book in most Bibles. Just because I was telling you about that 213 killing code earlier, Death 213. And how about this word? Notice here in Satanic and English Ordinal, nigga, the accepted term, the word used among black people, in almost like a way to express part of the family. But really, black people, think about this. in a way, by doing that, you're putting yourself in an exclusive group. And then I know at the same time, people who say the word nigga, they want to be treated just like everyone else. You can't have it both ways. And understand, it's the Zionist Jews, no doubt, who have made this word popular by putting it out throughout their media. That's the only way everyone starts speaking the same way. But just notice, 213 and 38, now notice the word death. These numbers are huge in the deaths of Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur and a number of others. If you missed all the work I did on Notorious B.I.G., check it out. But these numbers, they're no accident. 213 is also connected to Nimrod. Nimrod, the Freemason from the Bible who built the Tower of Babel, the great hunter of Babylon who made Babylon powerful. Hunting, killing, 213. Listen to that song Murder by Numbers from the Police from 1983. Murder has gematria of 83. Murder by Numbers came out in 83 about it's easy to kill people to boost your status. It's done all the time. Weird song. So I've taken so long to get to this point. 42. Here's the connecting piece. When you write out 42, it sums to 74. This news about Bill Cosby, that they stamped the 42 into the story on purpose. 42, when you write out, sums to 74. When you write out 100, it sums to 74. April 10th, the date of this news, the 100th day of the year. If you missed my work on Dylan Stormroof, I showed why they put him in the headlines yesterday making a plea. This story is about censorship. Censor 74. So does the word hate. These stories, what they're really about is programming people to hate and divide. So many people, all they talk about is what's in the news, and then they dwell on these negative stories. And there's so many people going, I used to like Bill Cosby, now I hate that guy, and everything else, and all the racist stuff that comes with it. Bill Cosby, for you younger people, when I was growing up, was always thought of as this, great role model in the TV world, a positive example, a positive message. A strong man, someone to look up to. So, for all the people who grew up in that time of Bill Cosby, this might have a psychological toll on them. There's so many people who invested so much in the TV. I never really invested much in the TV. I never really liked the TV that much. Some things were okay. Bill Cosby, he was all right to me. But the TV, it was always this thing, this distraction. I like living. I like being outside, doing things with my hands, playing games with the other kids, Never really understood people's obsession with the TV. But there's some more 74 here. Masonic 74. Again, Freemasonry very much based in divide and conquer, order out of chaos. Yesterday, the 100th day of the year, we saw the plea for Dylan Stormroof. Dylan Stormroof 74, like white supremacist. Also like Black Panther Party. Freemasonry controlling the opposition. It's all about control. You got to control the opposition too. That's old warfare knowledge. See my work on the death of Fred Hampton, the day Jay-Z was born? Let's just read a little bit of this reporting. Embattled comedian Bill Cosby's award-winning children's book series has landed on the American Library Association's list of top 10 books targeted for removal from school libraries. This is, I hate this. This is what programming is. What this is teaching children is, okay, you might have used to be a good man, and you might have done some good things creating these children's books that children have enjoyed, but now that you've done this bad thing over here, nobody can even know who you are. They can't know your name. They can't know your work. That is bullshit. And anyone who thinks it isn't is a fool. You are a character from the novel 1984. Look, good work is good work, and people can always appreciate that good work. Maybe Bill Cosby really did do all these bad things. Maybe he's abused his celebrity. But just think about this. At the same time this is happening to Bill Cosby, we now have this white-orange Oompa Loompa in the White House who 33 days before the rigged selection, came out as the pussy grabber. They released that recording from 2005. I mean, where was that the whole time? 33 days before the selection, we get to find out Donald Trump says he can just grab any woman's pussy, just make out with any woman, go in on any woman. And if you missed my work right after the selection, I found where he was in a sitcom on an old Dennis Leary show where he plays that exact character. Dennis Leary's out to dinner with a woman, and Donald Trump walks in the room, and they go, "Oh my God, Donald Trump's here." And Donald Trump just walks up to their table and says to Dennis Leary's character, he goes, "Are you having sex with this woman?" And Dennis Leary's character goes, "What? No, we just met." And he's like, "Well, in that case," and he just goes in and starts making out with the woman, and then I think he hands her a card and says, "Call me later." You know, that's the same thing they gave us. Donald Trump, the orange Oompa Loompa pussy grabber. And then they made him the president. Understand nobody's votes count in this country? This is all a big show. America's always been a big show. It's a theater show. And who runs the theater? Who runs the TV? You know, real quick before I read more of this, just in case you think I'm mistaken, let's just do this real quick. Let's start here with America. I'm going to get rid of this satanic gematria cipher. I want you to notice the 139. From the beginning, America has been run by Freemasonry. And again, Freemasonry is based in Jewish history. America, to some, is considered New Jerusalem. Jerusalem, 139. Look at what Jewish state equals. Israel is the Jewish state, and you know what the Jewish state was before Israel? The United States of America, because it always has been. Always. Have you seen the show Westworld, or that old movie Westworld? It's about us. You know, people made to be for the existence of more elites, who in this case are the Jewish banker timers. There's a reason this nation's birthday is 7-4. Jewish 74, Masonic 74, Holiday 74, Independence Day 74. If you start thinking every word's 74, I challenge you to write out all 50 states. You'll find that only one sums to 74, and it's Oregon, the 33rd state. And why 33? It's because they put Jesus on the cross at 33. You see? It's an English-speaking nation. It's a Christian nation. This number is just coded into things that are very significant to them. You never seen my work on Jesus and the cross and that recent story about Kanye West? I'll tell you real quick about Kanye West and the cross. Notice that Jesus sums to 61 also, as well as cross. So does Christian, so does Christmas, so do so many things. So many things are 61. If you read that story about Kanye West on the cross in Hollywood, that story, the cross was put up and the story originated on a date with 61 numerology. And by the way, with regards to Jesus on the cross at 33, Hollywood 33, and Kanye West. You know, these are all sick, ongoing riddles. By the way, I almost forgot a 42. Anyhow. Oh, I didn't mean to get rid of that. Got to bring that back up. So let's read just a little more of this reporting. You know, but this is what programming really is. Programming people to think a certain way. This is such a horrible way to think. If somebody does something great, right? Something great for humanity. And then decades later they do something horrible, and that great thing still exists and it's still great. You see, the powers that shouldn't be, what they're training people to do is so they can get rid of great things. They can demonize people, and then they can say, see, a bad person, we don't get their great thing anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. Read the book 1984. It's about getting rid of history, the past, the present, just getting people in this continual mindset to follow, be afraid, don't question. This is it. This is why we got to free the children from the education system. It's not an education system. It's an indoctrination system. It's a slave system. Puts the slave chains on you. Programs you to be what the tyrants want you to be. You know, you're in high school, you're getting demonized to go in the military, to go be a mercenary for the powers that shouldn't be. Go fight in their illegal wars that don't need to happen. Bunch of Bible rituals being replayed out. The new crusades. Let's continue with the propaganda. The annual list from the ALA Office for Intellectual Freedom tends to include a broad range of titles with the potential to offend. Repeat, honorees include Toni Morrison's, Wow. I can't believe they're getting rid of Toni Morrison books. I honestly, I hadn't even read this article. I just decoded it, but I just figured we'll read what they're lying to us. If you don't know Toni Morrison, black author, writes a lot of really great books. Wow. See, this is what I mean. 1984. They're getting rid of the things that are most respected and they're like demonizing them. All you can know are the lies. That's all the powers that shouldn't be won. You know, they'll have everybody listening to Justin Timberlake and, I don't know, reading Harry Potter, I guess. The annual list from the ALA Office for Intellectual Freedom tends to include a broad range of titles with the potential to offend. Repeat honorees include Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eyes for depictions of rape and incest, transgender reality TV star Jazz Jennings' coming out story, 50 Shades of Grey for obvious reasons, and the Harry Potter books because of witchcraft. Oh, well, maybe they're even going to go after Harry Potter too. I thought that's what they wanted all the kids on. They got the whole world hooked up on Harry Potter. But Cosby's Little Bill books are believed to be the first time a title has been targeted solely for its author and not its content. LAA Office for Intellectual Freedom Director James LaRue said. Okay. So I got ahead of myself just the way they were writing that article, but I was just surprised they're going after Toni Morrison. I've never heard anybody go after Toni Morrison before. A lot of books are full of descriptive language. That's why people read books. You know, I guess it's easy to do this because nobody reads anymore. It's like nobody's read Toni Morrison, nobody's read anything. You read books, I mean, when you read books, there's really awesomely written things, graphic information, things that make people think, things that make people remember, you know, the ways of the older world, you know, the world used to be, things that, you know, build appreciation. If you don't read, you've done yourself a disservice, and the powers that shouldn't be want people not to read. That's, I mean, in this day and age, there's screens everywhere, screen city. And admittedly, because screens are everywhere, I even read less. But, you know, I still read. You gotta read. It's good for the brain. I think it's our fascination with celebrity. If we love the person, we love everything about him. If we hate the person, we hate everything about him. There's that word hate. We don't seem to be able to separate the message from the messenger. You know what? This is what I hate about the mainstream media. They always present things like this is what they want people to do. This is how people are. This is what America is. People that just group things together and make associations and dismiss. That's what we've been programmed to be. The Little Bill books follow the adventures and life lessons of Bill Jr., a 5-year-old Philadelphia boy. The series became an Emmy Award-winning Saturday morning cartoon series that ran on and off from 1999 to 2006. You know what I mean? So what, they just got to get rid of all this? Cosby's legacy has been undermined by sexual assault allegations from dozens of women. You can be the president of the United States, but you can't have a children's book. Essentially, that's what's the message to take away here. I mean, that's 100% what the message is. Donald Trump. It's just so sick, you guys. Right after the sexual allegations, you know, the debates were going on at that time, and I don't like Hillary Clinton at all. She's another puppet stooge, New World Order agent. They all are. But, you know, she's a woman. And here we're having a man versus woman debate, and we all saw what the debates were like. Hillary would start to speak, and Donald would start speaking over her. You know, just let her speak. If you're having a debate, you got to let the other person speak. That channel, Jeranism, invited me on their show about 2 months ago, and they told me, they said, don't prep, it's not going to be a debate, we're just going to have a nice conversation. Well, then they introduced me to their show, and they like, the 5-minute introductions trashing me. And then they said that they'd give me 5 minutes to respond once they were done, and then I started to speak, and they just cut me off right away. It's just, you know, Donald Trump is a pig. You have to be a disgusting human being to not see it. And it's all an act, too. You know, they just know, the powers that shouldn't be know that they have created a society of pigs, people who could care less that Donald Trump's a pig because they're a pig themselves, you know. But Donald Trump, the pussy grabber, he couldn't let Hillary Clinton talk. I remember one time where Hillary clipped him off and he had a little fit. And if you watched the debates, you saw it too. He got, don't cut me off. It's just like, whoa, dude. I mean, come on. You've been cutting her off the last 2 debates. She finally says something in the 3rd debate. And now you're going to break down like a little bitch. You know what I mean? That's the President of the United States, a little bitch, doesn't respect women, sick pervert. That's okay. You know, that's okay. But Bill Cosby, God forbid he have a children's book with a good message. So a couple more things I noticed. Censorship also has the same gematria as Bill Cosby. And I thought, how interesting is that? You know, unprecedented, censoring a book, even as the article says, because of what the author did outside of the book. But see, this is going to set a precedent, because this is the way our society works. They introduce it, and then they do it a lot. We're going to see more stories like this. Bill Cosby's not going to be the end. Censorship 144, like Bill Cosby, that's our number that represents time. Time. The square root of 144, 12. 12 hours in the morning, in the evening, 12 months in the year. Think about the hands of a clock every hour, numbered 1 through 12. The 12th Fibonacci number is 144. The Fibonacci sequence said to be God's mathematical spiral. Special number 144. And here's an unprecedented, story in time, starting with Bill Cosby, who's been demonized for 2 years now. Now check this out. From the date of the news to Cosby's upcoming 80th birthday, July 12th, is 93 days. And 93 applies to Saturn. To the occult, Saturn is the keeper of time. The sun is the true keeper of time, and they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. I'll show you something cool real quick here in Jewish gematria. Time, wow, I never noticed that before about Savior. Remember God's sun is 93? They tell us the sun's 93 million miles away. But anyway, here's what I want to show you. Time 144. So is light 144. And in Hinduism, there's something known as nadis. There's supposed to be 144,000 of them. Obviously has to do with light, enlightenment, like spirituality. So anyway, 144, this special number. 93, remember I was just showing you this film, 93 Days, about the Ebola scare, which was all by the numbers. In the Cosby Show, his name is Huxtable, which also has gematria of 93. Here's what I should show you real quick. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X only met not twice, they only met once in history. And they met on a date with 93 numerology. Martin Luther King Jr., gematria of 93, dead at age 39. Malcolm X, dead at age 39. Malcolm X also 93. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. only met one time on a date with 93 numerology. If I remember correctly, no, I can't remember correctly. It's on my blog. We could look it up real quick, but I assure you it's true. They only met one time in history on a date with 93 numerology, and it was 333 days before Malcolm X's assassination. And see my work on 333 in the Freemason Compass. 333 has a lot to do with the Freemason Compass, the establishment of Zionist Israel. Malcolm X gave a speech about the Jews and what's going on in the world with Zionism. I don't know if he ever used the word Zionism, but that's absolutely what he was talking about. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. killed by the same numbers, similar stories with their assassins in terms of what happened to them in prison. But this is what it is. Bill Cosby, the story 93 days before his birthday. Rosa Parks' full name in gematria is 93. There's a number of black people from history besides Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X that have 93 name gematria. Again, Black History Month's 93 with the Kabbalah cipher. But again, in case you're new here and you're watching and you're going, okay, I want to know what more of these numbers mean. Just watch 10 of my videos. I have 2,000 and some videos. It's pretty much the same numbers in every single news story. If it's a different number, it normally corresponds with their specific name or their specific date of birth. But the same numbers that we talked about here, they're the same numbers that get recycled. Again and again and again. And if you watch my work, you'll see exactly what I mean. So this was a lot longer than I meant for it to be, as most of my videos are. I'm going to link these other posts I talked about down in the description for anyone who wants to maybe share them with their friends and family to wake them up. But we got to get the word out on what's going on in this world. Race war by the numbers. Manufactured propaganda to provoke racial division. It's undeniable. Until next time, truth seeker.